Thank you. Thank you, Paula, for that great introduction. Thank you, Adam Goldberg, for that great introduction. My 50 seconds of fame. I figure I got about 14 minutes and 10 seconds left. So I have a plan. My wife and I are going to parachute out of a runaway balloon down to the next White House state dinner. That ought to take care of it. Did you notice the technology in that clip, by the way? The big blue thing on my desk there? Yep. IBM Selectric 2, circa 1974. I saw one of those downstairs in the museum. Well, it was fun to have my character in the movie, but for the record, I totally disavow that real snarky comment he made about the Sacramento Bee. That's just some scriptwriter's imagination. And I never had a beard either, but it could be worse because the casting call for that part called for a chubby actor. Seriously, I don't know why, but anyway, I'm glad they picked a thin guy like Adam Goldberg. So a warm, pleasant welcome to everybody tonight to PRSA Silicon Valley Media Predicts 2010. It is really my distinct privilege to be your Master of Ceremonies tonight. I'm honored to be here in the company of so many distinguished journalists of our day and with all of you. What a week, huh? A lot of news. How about that Tiger Woods shocker? Boy, he sure had the PR media world and the media world buzzing like crazy. You know how intense he gets if you've seen him play. I can see him, careening, slicing out of his driveway, if you will, and yelling, "Hit a tree, hit a tree." I just heard today, in fact, that the Florida police asked his wife how many times she hit him with that 9-iron. She said, I don't know exactly, put me down for a 5. There was no tech beat when I started at the Chronicle. There was a science reporter. He'd already been there since 1951. And guess what? He's still there. That's right, David Perlman, 90 years old. Oh, that's my dream, to be 90 and turn down a buyout. Anyway, as Paula said, the Zodiac case did launch my career in what I like to call the shocking 70s. Time magazine this week says we're just coming out of the decade from hell, but I like to think that the 70s, at least in the Bay Area, came pretty close to that. It was really 10 years of nonstop major national news that I found myself covering in my young career. Besides the Zodiac case, there was the Patty Hearst kidnapping saga, the Golden Dragon restaurant massacre, the Jonestown tragedy, the City Hall assassinations of Harvey Milk and Mayor Moscone, the Dan White trial and the White Night riots, covered all of that. But it all came, obviously, before the internet, before cell phones, before social media, and all of the everyday tools that we use today. Things have really changed. I was watching that clip and thinking, what would it be like today? Zodiac used to go to a payphone after his murders and call the newspapers to brag about it. So I'm trying to imagine how this would be today. First of all, good luck finding a payphone. So then he'd get on the phone, he'd say, "This is the Zodiac speaking. For home delivery, press 1. Listen, I shot 2 people. For advertising, press 2. Look, lady, I don't have much time for this. For editorial, press 3. For the Metro desk, leave a message at the tone. Screw it, I'll send an email. Hey, that's it. What if Zodiac were alive today? He'd have an IP address, and bingo, the case would be solved. Maybe he'd have his own Facebook fan page, but what if he friended you? I can see him tweeting, "On my way for a meetup at Lake Berryessa. Who's around?" Anyway, seriously, as Paul said, it's been a rough patch for newspapers, but I do believe journalism is alive and well today. Just recently at a forum at San Jose State for community college journalists, Matt Huffman, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter for the Las Vegas Sun, told the students there, he said, we don't need more online journalism. What we need are more journalists online. And it is in that spirit that we celebrate and learn from the best in tech media tonight. We have a great group of speakers for you, the best and brightest in technology journalism. But first, PRSA and Silicon Valley and the Computer History Museum are pleased to present a man that the New York Times calls quite possibly the best political satirist working in the country today. No, satirist. He performs hundreds of comedy shows every year. He's a regular commentator on Air America, NPR, and CNN. He also writes a nationally syndicated column and is a fellow City Brights blogger on sfgate.com, an adopted son of the Bay Area, and a huge Giants fan. Please welcome the self-proclaimed Lieutenant Governor from the State of Confusion, Will Durst.
That's great.